Well. All right, we're live. Welcome to CAPECAST. I'm Brandon. I got two special guests here tonight. Ryan, once again, is out of town. He missed our last two CiNEMACHiNE episodes, and he's missing this CAPECAST episode. So we'll see if we can find him. If you've seen Ryan anywhere, please send him back to us.
Limp Bizkit concert.
If it's close, if it's in the Atlanta area, he's probably there. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But Alan, you're back on CAPECAST. Surprise. Welcome back once again. Appreciate you hopping on.
Yep.
And today we got Chris.
I'll pick you up at noon.
Chris!
Listen, I'm busy!
I'm busy, stupid dick!
So I pulled that,
Brandon.
Just for you. Yeah, Chris, welcome back. We haven't had you on.
Here I am.
Mortal Kombat, I guess.
I'm back.
The last time you were
I think
on?
that was the last one.
Yeah.
I just needed some time to myself. I
understand.
Really, I had to put a lot out for Mortal Kombat, and
You've had so many activities lately. You've been building chicken coops and things of that nature. So
hey, but the chickens are out of the office. Now I have space that's not 100 degrees.
Good.
Here I am.
There you are. Well, before we get into the news, let's do a little bit of table setting and addressing the things that Ryan always does that now I have to do. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. We are CAPECAST. You can find us on Twitter at CAPECAST Show. You can also find us everything CiNEMAChiNE Pod at CiNEMAChiNEPod.com, here on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and now on Patreon. You can find that all at CiNEMAChiNE Pod. So look us up there. We appreciate it. Now, Chris, I don't think you are probably new to this format. So what we're probably going to do is we're gonna take it easy. We're going to go into some news first.
Hold my hand. Got me through this.
Okay, I'll hold your hand all the way through it. So don't you worry. You just sit back. You have anything you want to chime in, please do so. Alan can also help you. He's a little bit. He's not as green as you are to this format. So.
Times they are changing, Brandon.
Indeed. So, all right. Well, as we typically do, we start off with DC. Not a ton of DC stuff this week, but one thing that did get posted earlier, I think it was yesterday, I believe, was Black Adam posted a behind-the-scene pic from the set. Of his back. Yeah, behind the back of Back Adam, as a lot of people are jokingly saying. But yeah, we still haven't got an actual full reveal. We've had many teases of Black Adam. He continues to pump out this, the hierarchy of the DC universe is about to change tagline that he can't seem to let go of. So I hope it lives up to the hype, because he sure is saying it a lot. Anyway, what's your guys' pulse right now for this movie, as far as interest level, any expectations? Alan, let's go with you first.
I don't know. I mean, I'm excited. He's very passionate about the project, obviously. So I think it's gonna do good. Dr. Fate, I'm kind of interested to see what Pierce Brosnan does with that, but I don't really know as far as it's kind of a B list as far as cast goes for the Justice Society. There's I don't know. That's my only concern. There's nothing huge, coming out of that. Yeah.
Sometimes that can work in your favor, though, when you've got unknowns, as long as they're good, as far as, capable actors, then, it's one of those things that I actually appreciate. A lot of series end up, like Star Wars, typically, the most recent round of Star Wars flicks tend to cast unknowns. It just allows you to not have any baggage going into it. So I'm cool with that. I mean, obviously there's baggage with The Rock. I mean, he's been in every movie for the last, 10 years at this point. So there's a lot to associate with him. But Chris, what about you? What's your vibe? I haven't really gauged your opinion on this movie since you've been gone for so long.
I know. I'm sorry. I mean, like Alan said, I think because he's so passionate, that's something that interests me. Other than that, I don't know a whole lot about it. I know I'm kind of in the minority of not loving the first Shazam movie. Didn't dislike it. It just didn't wow me. So I don't have like a whole lot of.
Well, that was Chris's time. You don't like Shazam.
Things don't change here.
It's an issue. I get it. I mean,
I'm not hating on the first one. I just didn't love it.
Yeah,
like
I wouldn't really expect much from the Shazam front on this one. I think if anything, it's going to be maybe a little bit of teeing up for the follow up. I mean, we had a little bit of a hint of Black Adam in Shazam.
Yeah,
but one thing that I do hope is teed up. I think we would all agree upon this, which is Trini put out some, which our logo is kind of covering it. There we go. Let's move it down just a little bit.
For a minute, I didn't know whose legs those were.
They kind of look like Supergirl's legs.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
You think so? Well, I mean, yeah. I'm not going to debate you on that. I'm not going to debate you. But that is Henry Cavill's legs. I can verify that this time.
Yeah, they are. I'm sorry.
No, I would love. I mean, this is like I guess probably the most obvious, I guess, fan casty type wishful thinking there is for a Black Adam movie / sequel is to bring in Henry Cavill to the fold. They share the same management, and it just feels like a no-brainer. I don't know what WB's going to end up doing with this role, but hopefully they let Cavill have another day in the sun, so to speak, with this role.
Yeah.
Not to be too corny, but yeah, I mean, what's up, Nani? Nani's saying that his suit has no padding. I mean, I'm sure it has just a little bit of padding just for contouring of muscles, but yeah, you're right. It's he doesn't need that much because he can't stay in like. I mean, the dude's jacked. We all know that, but still, I mean, he'd have to be like pumping before every take to be in peak form, and so I imagine that they have a little bit of contouring to that suit, just a little
pain
bit.
And gain.
Yeah, but he's also a lot older now, so
yeah, it's timeless.
Yeah. Well, see, I told you. What did I tell you? He's here. Told you he'd pop in at some point.
There he is.
Yep, there he is.
Brandon, you didn't let me finish.
Chris,
I'm also excited for the lore that they've seemed to already establish some of the concept art. I really like when they give things history. So that is something I'm excited for. And now I'm done.
Yeah. Now you're done? Okay,
yeah.
Good. Well, thanks for stopping by. No, I agree. I mean, there's a lot to mine there. I don't know. I mean, I know tangentially a little bit about Black Adam, like through like Injustice stuff. But this will be in a little bit just through after the tease and Shazam. I kind of did a little bit of research, but yeah, I mean, I really, yeah. Ryan was fired because of the Patreon mismanagement. Yep, it's true. That's what happened. So he was spending all of his money on Zack Snyder's Justice League figurines, and we had to let him go. So sorry. He will be missed. But speaking of Shazam, and then we're going to be out of the DC realm. And we don't have to touch on this too long. It's not much to say, but it is worth noting. There was a little set pic of Mr. Mr. Zachary Levi doing his he's like the most proper waiting around actor that there is. Like all these set photos, he's like doing this stance. But the only really thing noteworthy here is battle damage on the suit, which is not something that happened in the previous movie. Like the suit stayed pretty pristine throughout. So not that that's like uncommon in movies, but it does seem like there's going to be at least some. I remember when heroes of the previous movies that you guys watch, do you guys have do you like get a little not frustrated but like kind of irked when there's like in Spider-Man when his suit's all like messed up and his eyes like, you know, bulging out of he's got like all the like tear marks and stuff like that. Like when I was like younger, I was like always very just upset for the character that he had to go home and like try and patch up that suit. But I didn't know if that's like a little quirk that you guys have when you watch superhero movies, because that's like one of the things that's like, oh man, he's got to go home and fix it. Maybe that's just me. Sounds like it's just me.
I think it's just.
I think so. I mean, it's
I like seeing the battle damage in Spider-Man. I think it's a great example.
I actually,
it's cool.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I love seeing the battle damage, but I will
especially
say
the
that
moment that it happens when it's like the little goblin bomb thing that explodes his face up.
So many, I mean, just straight out of a comic book moments were in those Tobey Maguire movies. But.
Hey, thanks for stopping by, Al. We appreciate it. Al's got more Criterion stuff to go through. It's a big time for him right now, so we appreciate any time he can give us. All right. Well, yeah, that's DC. Like I said, not a ton in the DC world, but kind of piggybacking on DC into Marvel. One thing that was announced last week was that both Marvel and Warner Brothers, which contains DC, are skipping Comic-Con this year. The Comic-Con at home. There's still not a physical Comic-Con going on. But now I've been to Comic-Con. Ryan always like has to make a point. Like whenever I say something about the year that I went to Comic-Con, he like, you know, we went to Comic-Con. Like, but Chris, you've been to Comic-Con kind of, right? Did you go into the convention or you just go the outside?
I was all the way there. There was no kind of. I was there.
Okay.
You're not alone. Yeah. I think it was.
Now you went probably.
Maybe?
Was it 17? I feel like it was maybe
16 or 17.
You were like right before it kind of stopped being a big thing. Cause like,
yeah,
I went, it was like in the heyday. It was still like a big to do. All the studios were, you know, had panels. As far as the media nature of it, it was still, it's always been big for obviously the convention floor, lots of vendors, comic book vendors, and studios do have spaces on the floor and they push a lot of movies and other things, video games, that kind of thing. But I went in 2012. So I was there for like Man of Steel panel. And I was there for like Quentin Tarantino was there for Django Unchained. And so there's stuff that wasn't like comic oriented that they still had panels for. The Hobbit, I think, had its first panel. Iron Man 3. But yeah, so this year, both Marvel and Warner Brothers probably obviously wasn't going to join because they're doing DC Fandom in October. Mm-hmm. I imagine either Marvel doesn't have much to show or they're going to do their own, because they had their like Disney investors call, towards the end of last year, and they showed like so much stuff on that. So I imagine they may do something like that, or kind of do another like a similar DC Fandom type thing for Marvel. They've done that before at like the El Capitan theater, broadcast that, showed a bunch of stuff. So I imagine they're going to do something. It'll be because a lot of these studios are just seeing that it's so expensive to do Comic-Con, to do Hall H. It costs a lot of money. You got to fly out all the talent, and it just the juice isn't really worth the squeeze because you're preaching to the choir. So, and in an era where all this stuff gets either it has to get put on line immediately after the con or the panels, or the or it leaks, that it makes it kind of makes it not as special. So the people that are going to line up at Hall H for a day to see a panel, it's like, well, why did I do that? Because it's all out there now. But
do you feel like it's a snub to the fans not to have kind of these big in-person conventions that are part of the culture?
Well, considering that it's online, I don't think it's that big of a deal because they're still going to, at least on the WB front, the DC front, they're going to do DC Fandom. So there still is something they're doing. I think it just is going to make the most sense going forward. You're just going to see Comic-Con turning back into what it used to be, which is more exhibition floor. There'll be panels. There'll be more comic-centric panels, but not like, I don't think you'll see like super big, like Hall H, thousands of people type panels, which will probably, because, I mean, when I went, I did the Hall H thing. In retrospect, I wish I would have done more, like done a day of Hall H maybe, and then done more exhibition floor stuff and like went to vendors and had time to just like do all that. But it's so crowded.
I didn't do any panels. I mean, I was strictly just wandering around.
Hey, what's
it was
up?
just so much weight for everything.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I don't want to spend my entire
crazy.
day waiting in line. So
yeah, I mean,
around.
We did 3 days of Hall H, and that was, I mean, that's all we did, really. We got up early, got in line, and then stayed in Hall H and didn't move for like 8 hours, you know? And a lot of people will camp out a day, day and a half, 2 days before for the big Saturday panels. We were lucky and were still able to get in and just like got up at like 3 a.m. and went and got in line. But still, it's a commitment. But I think that I really have, like, I've been to, and Alan, you've been to smaller cons.
Yeah.
I've kind of grown to like really prefer those types of experiences just because it's just not as, I mean, even though the spectacle of San Diego Comic-Con was great, tons of great cosplayers. You got to see like a lot of different, celebrities that are involved in these projects and creators. But it's so crowded that if you wanted to do anything else, it's just, you can't. It's hard. It's very hard unless you get there for like preview night on Wednesday when they have like a very small percentage of full capacity. Then I could see that be working, but that's hard to get as well. But
did you go around the city at all when you were there? Like leave
not
for
a
lunch?
lot.
That was probably the coolest part for me, is leaving the grounds and then like you'd pop into like whatever restaurant you could find when it was swarmed by a million cosplayers, and it was just everybody from there and like a little bit more of a relaxed setting, and it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then like tons
we
of
went
parties
into
too.
the what is it, the Gaslamp or Gaslight District? I can't remember what it's called, which is right across the railroad tracks. It's like their downtown area. So we did that like after each night. But just for a little while because we were beat. We went to the hotel and crashed. But like the day we got there, we went to the zoo. And then that was it. That's all I saw of San Diego was the zoo and the convention center. Anyway, but yeah. So did any of you watch the Comic-Con at home last year? I think it was like June or July. That's the thing. Nobody did. The biggest panel they had was for what is it? New Mutants. And that was a movie that was so long gestated that it's like nobody cared at this point. So we got a question right here. Anybody buy tickets for Snake Eyes? I
have not.
G.I. Joe Origins movie. Anybody got interest in seeing it? Well, it looks cool. This is what I said. I think it looks better than Shang-Chi. Now, am I going to go out and see it in theaters?
Why are you
Probably
comparing
not.
those two things?
Well, you know, Chris.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they're very similar in style.
Okay.
And I just felt like it looks better. It looks better executed to me as far as the kung fu elements, hand-to-hand combat, gunplay, that kind of stuff. I don't know if there's any gunplay in Shang-Chi. There might be. To me, it just looks more interesting. And I've actually heard decent things about it, people that have seen it. But yeah, nice. Got his ticket.
Nice. Good.
That's cool. Yeah, well, let us know. Report back. I think, when is it? It comes out, let's see, July 23rd. So
Everything's better in IMAX.
this is true. I don't know if anything was shot for IMAX. That's like a requirement for me. I don't know about you guys. Like, if I'm going to go see it in IMAX, I need scenes shot in IMAX format to justify that ticket price. Otherwise, give me Dolby Cinema. I prefer that. If you haven't been to an AMC Dolby Cinema, do yourself a favor and do it. I don't know, Chris, were you indifferent about Dolby Cinema? I remember you went to see Shazam with us, actually, right?
It was cool. I mean, the audio is just kind of insane. Like you're rumbled in your seat, almost like one of those. What was the old Disney World, like the 5D movies you do where they like rumble the seats and everything? It like almost had that feel with how strong the bass was.
Yeah, I like that though personally.
Yeah.
So,
no, I thought it was cool.
but I get it. It is. I mean, it can be. Sometimes it's a little overwhelming because the shrilly parts of movies can get a little like painful.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, well, hopefully Comic-Con turns things around. Hopefully this year at least they'll have a better list of panels, people to tune in, because I think that came out and then, or maybe it was vice versa, I can't remember, but when comparing Comic-Con at home and DC fandom was so much, like just so much better done. Just on even disregard like your like bias towards the content that was given, but as far as like an online fan interactive panel, it just flowed so much smoother and they just had it together. It was just like back to back. It just ran a lot better. Well, I say that I didn't watch Comic-Con at home, but the stuff that I read online was like DC fandom won the day. So I'll take that. But yeah, hopefully next year there actually is a San Diego Comic-Con in person and we can all go. That'll be fun.
Wear our CAPECAST hoodies.
Yeah,
exactly.
Fanny packs.
I don't have one.
Gym
I don't have a
shorts.
hoodie.
Hats except for you.
Yeah, take our koozies. Yeah,
tights,
do that.
leggings. There we go.
Yeah. I guess capes would
So-
make sense too.
Yeah, we could get some capes. Well, write all this stuff down because that's
Okay.
a lot.
I'll
Can't
handle the
forget any
merch
of it.
because Ryan, his departure is based on funds.
Who?
Never mind.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move. So moving out of kind of transitioning from Marvel and DC and the Comic-Con thing, we got a little bit of Marvel stuff, and this kind of will tie into what we're going to talk about later, which is Loki stuff. But did you guys even catch this when you watched the episode, the whole Throg thing?
I did.
I thought it was like mini Thor until I
did too.
saw the internet.
I
Yeah.
thought it was a tiny Thor because I mean it's a pan. It's panning down and like he jumps up. And I just thought it was a small like Thor that somebody like made small, like some sort of like magic trick or something. Put him in this jar and stuck him in the ground.
I just assumed it was like an alternate version that was just tiny.
Yeah, Alan, did to the frog?
Yeah, I did. Just because it was one.
Well, look at you.
You
Waiting for that.
I'm sorry.
He's
but no,
so
I did.
smart.
I did.
Yeah.
But not for not because of my knowledge of comic book lore. I saw it on Twitter right before I watched it, so I knew it was coming. So I just
We'll see.
saw him
Well, that
swing
doesn't
by.
count.
Oh,
That's
it
cheap.
counts.
Well, apparently they filmed a scene of Throg or whatever his name is fighting Loki or one of the Lokis. And they cut it. Well,
Did you
seems
hear
like-
the reasoning that they gave? It was supposed to be,
Tell
I think,
me.
in like the first episode, but they thought that might be too weird and jarring right off the bat and kind of distract from everything they were
I
trying
did
to
see
set
that.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that kind of makes sense to me.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wonder where it would have been. What it was going to be in like the
It was
sequence
kind of
where
like,
he's like
within
seeing
his
all
arrival to the TVA, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, I had no idea this was a thing until I saw these articles and I was like, where was this? Because I did also see, because they were talking about the alligator Thor on Twitter before I watched it, and somebody did mention another animal. And after I watched the episode, I was like, where was the other animal that was Thor? I couldn't even remember that was a frog. And then I saw the article. But yeah, cool. That's cool. I feel like as far as it's a shame that it was cut. I get the reasoning behind cutting it, but I feel like that could have been. I feel like this show has been out of the shows so far, and we'll get into it later because we're going to get Chris's thoughts on Loki that we haven't got yet. But I'm definitely enjoying it more than any other Marvel show, and I think that would have been a fun little scene to have. However, that would have been executed, I don't know, but the idea of it sounds cool. So maybe they'll release it as a deleted scene, even if it's like unfinished effects or something. But time will tell. So yeah, all right. Well, that's probably it for Marvel. We're gonna move on to something that we don't get to talk about as much because we're on a little bit of a hiatus in the Star Wars front, but we do have the Book of Boba Fett coming out pretty soon, and which is finished production. And they announced this week that we've got some returning Mandalorian directors. Robert Rodriguez he's helming the series, but he's directing like 4 or 5 episodes, I think it said. And you got Jon Favreau, Bryce Dallas Howard, and Dave Filoni coming back, which is exciting. I really wish that Rick Famuyiwa was back because he had one of the best episodes, in my opinion, last season. But Dave Filoni also had a great episode as well, which is the Ahsoka episode that I love so much. So what do you guys think as far as directing? Obviously, Rodriguez did the Boba Fett centric one, where the child is on the like seeing stone thing and Boba Fett kind of shows up.
Yeah.
You guys excited for this same round of directors, or were you kind of hoping that they were going to bring in some new talent? What's your feeling? Let's go with Chris.
I'm pretty excited to see these guys all coming back. I think they all did a good job in a lot of series right now. I think they're trying to just throw a ton of directors at it and give everybody their shot, and some of it's not great. So I like that they're actually going somebody who's kind of shown some success across the board with everybody here. And I'm really excited to see what Robert Rodriguez does, because the one episode he had before, he was pretty rushed on it, right? Like he didn't have a whole lot of time.
Yeah.
And
he was a last minute addition. And I think he said that the script when he showed up was only like 15 minutes worth of time. So he had to fill a lot of time.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see what he'll do with like some meat to work with here, some time planning and everything.
I mean, they all had strong episodes. Bryce Dallas Howard had the episode with
she did a couple, didn't she?
Titus Welliver. Well, she did one I know in the first season, and I know the one she did was like episode 2 when he lands on the planet to try and get he's always trying to get his ship fixed, but the one where he meets Bo-Katan and that crew, and they have to like take over that big ship vessel. That's got like Titus Welliver that he tries to take the cyanide capsule and kill himself or something in it. But which was a good episode. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for all these. I think Favreau did the season premiere as well. But yeah, so that's cool. But yeah, I as well am excited for Rodriguez because I like Rodriguez. I've watched a good bit of his theatrical stuff. Most recently, I guess Alita Battle Angel was his latest theatrical effort, which I enjoyed a lot. And I don't think it's going to get a sequel. I wish it would. It's really solid. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Alan, what's your vibe going into this Book of Boba Fett series with this director announcement?
Mandy said something last time because I didn't show it. I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is the early stages of Boba Fett's helmet. She's been working on that. So there you go, Mandy.
Now, who's wearing the helmet?
Trey will wear that one.
Okay.
And then I'll be Jango.
What are you making it out of?
It's EVA foam, like exercise mat foam, like the kind that you lock together, like if you're putting down ergonomic flooring in your garage or whatever.
Nice.
Yeah. But so she's been working on that one, and then I have to make a little bigger one for this head of mine. So but yeah, we'll all have them hopefully before too long. But yeah, I'm excited. I enjoyed all the directors that were listed. You know, I enjoyed their work that they did on The Mandalorian as well.
Yeah, same. Nani, I agree with you. Filoni seems to have a good finger on the pulse of Star Wars, and I'm definitely excited that he has more creative involvement, at least with these TV show stuff that's going on. So hopefully that'll kind of transition into the film stuff as well.
A lot of authenticity that comes with him.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, I don't remember when is it this fall? Is it like November or so that Boba Fett is coming out? Let me see if I can find that. December. So that's cool. Like I said, that's on my only quibble. Wish Rick Famuyiwa was involved. That episode with Bill Burr was one of the better episodes of that season. I thought it was fantastic. So I wish he was coming back, but
did you guys,
I'll take what I can get.
Have you guys watched any of the Chef Show on Netflix?
Is that a Favreau show?
Yeah, his show where he's traveling with and meeting different chefs and doing different things. He actually filmed an episode at Skywalker Ranch, and Dave was on there with him, and they were making like homemade pizza. And Robert Rodriguez came in and hung out with him for a little while. Like it was really neat. It was pretty cool.
That's cool. I never saw the movie.
Shows, so.
Yeah. No, I do too. I never watched the movie. I honestly don't even know if I knew that it was a show on Netflix. But
it's a show that was inspired by the movie. He actually, the chef, I can't think of his name. The guy that taught him how to actually be a chef for the movie, they ended up becoming really close friends, and they decided to do a cooking show together. So it's pretty neat. They had Seth Rogen on an episode, and it's been really cool. I've enjoyed it. There's 2 seasons of it.
Nice. I'll have to check it out. Okay. Well, okay. Moving on from Star Wars, we got a few more news items to hit on. One of these is pretty brief. We talked about the other day. We talked about the Transformers: Rise of the Beasts flick, and that Ron Perlman was voicing Optimus Primal. Chris, do you know about this stuff? Are you a Transformers guy? I can't remember.
Not so much.
I don't
know anything about this
growing up.
I mean, I had a couple toys. I remember the old school cartoon that I didn't really watch regularly. And I liked the first movie when it came out. Not a fan of any of the follow-ups. And I don't know anything about this.
I'm a first and third. Loved the first one. I thought the third one was really strong as well.
I didn't hate Bumblebee.
And then Bumblebee was solid.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Bumblebee was solid. I like that.
Yeah. Now, this one is a sequel to Bumblebee, a continuation, whatever. It takes place in the 90s. And being that it takes place in the 90s, they mentioned in an interview that it is going to be influenced by 90s action flicks. Specifically, Terminator 2 is what was mentioned. And now I got a fondness for the Terminator 2. Pretty big one. Pretty big fondness. So I hope this isn't just like PR speak, trying to hit a buzzword that'll latch on for people to be like, oh, Terminator 2, that's a great movie. Then that means this is going to be great. I hope that that's not the case because you drop Terminator 2 and you get me excited. I don't know about you guys. Thoughts, Alan? You a fan of Terminator 2?
Yeah. I
don't know how this translates as far as Transformers. I mean, obviously robot stuff. Maybe they're going to have another like robot kid type pairing, which they did that in Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Well, done it in all of them, I guess. But
there you go.
I don't know what the connection is there. Besides, maybe they're approaching it from a combo of that with lots of physical, practical elements with CG kind of mixed in, whereas most of these movies have been very heavily CG.
T2 is quite a bit darker than anything
Mhm.
we've seen out of the franchise? Do you think they might be going with a little bit more of a tone with that?
Could be. I mean, yeah, you're right. It is a lot darker. It's just so, but like, I don't know. I just think Terminator 2 for me is like, it is a perfect movie. I have no problems at all with that movie. And granted, I was indoctrined to this movie very early. It was the only movie that I could like. I couldn't watch anything higher than rated G when I was a kid. So Terminator 2, for some reason, my parents let me watch it on repeat, and I did. I watched it over and over and over. So I can't be very unbiased with reviewing it, but I still think it's perfect. I mean, I watched it not too long ago, and it still holds up. So I wouldn't change a thing. But anyway, it's just interesting that they're drawing connections to Terminator 2 for this new one. So just when I think I'm out of the Transformers franchise, they pull me back in. So I don't even know. I think the guy, who is the guy that's directing this? It's one of the guys that did, is it the Creed 2 director?
I think so.
Stephen Caple Jr.
Yeah.
What else has he done?
I don't know. Did he do the Furious 8? Stephen Caple Jr.
I wasn't a big fan of Creed 2.
Maybe not. He did Creed 2. Maybe I'm confusing him with a different director. I know he did Creed 2, but I don't know what else he's done. Creed 2 may have been the one that, like, yeah, as far as I know, that's the only big one that he's done so far. But yeah. You said you didn't like Creed 2?
I did not. I upset someone at work by telling them that recently. They were not happy with me.
Yeah. I only watched it once. I was disappointed by it. It was fine, but I don't know. That's another franchise that I love that, moving forward with Creed 3, and they're not going to have Sly in it. I'm like, all right.
Well, I heard they burnt some bridges with how they handle a lot of stuff.
It's possible. With Sly?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I call him Sly. We're on a nickname basis.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy.
All right. Well, we'll see how that develops. On face value, you got my interest peaked, so we'll just leave it there. All right. A couple more things to hit on. They're doing some audiobooks for Lord of the Rings, and Gollum himself, Andy Serkis, is going to be narrating all three. I don't know if you guys are Lord of the Rings fans, but I am, obviously.
I'm wearing my Lord of the Rings shirt.
Oh, you are? I couldn't see it.
I always wear the shirt for you.
Oh, thanks. This is exciting. Now, I'm not an audiobook guy. I don't even know if I've ever listened to an audiobook.
You never read a book at all.
I've never learned to read, so it's an issue. But I do like Lord of the Rings, and I do love Andy Serkis in anything. And this may make me want to actually listen, because I've never read Lord of the Rings. It's too long, too many words that I don't know. So this will be a good excuse to actually dive into all three of those books, because
You'll like
he's going to be reading them. Then, I mean, what else? What else could you ask for? I don't know. What do you guys think?
Will he just be reading them, or will he be changing his voices for the different characters?
You would think
He's gonna.
You would think at a minimum he's going to do Gollum, but yeah, I think he's going to do voice. They typically do that, right, for audiobooks. Yeah. So he's a great voice actor. So I mean, I don't think you can get much better, in my opinion. I actually saw him at Comic-Con 2012 for that Hobbit panel, and he was doing he was reading lines and dropping a lot of F-bombs and stuff as Gollum for the panel, which was something to see.
You know, I met him on set.
This is true.
Oh, yeah.
This is true. You want to tell that story?
Yeah, I was unnamed CIA agent.
Instead of what, Superstar?
Black Panther. And I just happened to do the 3 days where everybody in the movie was there, and Mr. Circus was getting burst out of that Korean holding cell. So he was hanging out all day. He's super nice guy. I didn't like talk with him a ton. Like he was somebody who would like tell everybody to have a nice night, like directly, and look everybody in the eye. And he's a legend.
So he was there. Obviously,
Martin
Coogler,
Freeman.
director, was there. Freeman.
Chadwick Boseman. The entire Wakandan family. Killmonger, Michael B. Jordan was there.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody who was in that movie was like there for that scene. And I think Feige showed up one day when I was there too.
Okay. That's cool. Now, have you told the story about my cameo in Black Panther on this podcast?
So, I don't think I have told this. Or maybe I have. We'll tell it again.
Tell it again.
A lot of these scenes, I was in like the secret little CIA base behind the Korean travel agency. And I was sitting at my desk and I'm typing up until like somebody comes through the door that they shouldn't come through. And then you jump up, pull the gun. But when I'm at my desk and you're supposed to be just like doing your thing, and there's people's like environmental, people are walking by, the camera's panning around. I kept typing out messages directed to Brandon.
Yeah.
Hoping that if I made it, he could follow what I was typing and messages would be sent to him in secret.
Yeah.
None of them made it.
Yeah, unfortunately, no.
But you do see me pull a gun, and Black Panther saves me from a grenade. And I hung out with Circus.
Pretty cool. It's great.
I think our time probably inspired him to read those books.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, you're an
the Comic-Con
inspiring guy, so. Yeah. Well, that's good. It all came full circle. And we thank you for that. The only other thing that I wanted to hit on, Alan, I know we talked about this, were these little viral news stories that were dropping for The Boys season 3. Man, I love this show. I love this approach to marketing. So these little like one-off little, vlog type things are always really fun. But I'm just curious, when is this show dropping this year? Can't remember. Let me look. Doesn't say. It's filming, I know, but I don't know when
they just started filming, within the past month and a half. They haven't really been filming all that long.
Chris, did you watch The Boys?
Oh yeah, big fan.
Yeah, we were talking about this last week. I really want to go back and just rewatch both seasons. It's been a while since I've watched season 1, and I was late watching season 3
too.
Like I didn't watch it because they were dropping like 3 or 4 episodes at a time, but it was a time where I was really busy, and so
there's a lot that happened in that season too. I need to go revisit it.
It's so crazy, man. Like there's so much content right now to watch that I find that when I binge things like that, like I'm like cramming it all in and then moving on to something else, and I forget so much of what happened. So by the time the next season comes up, I'm like, man, I don't even remember what happened. So I have to like either go back and rewatch it, which I don't really have time for, or watch like some YouTubers like recap video of the season. I just find, man, I don't know. I miss the days that when I think the weekly format helps retain some of that a little more.
For sure.
Because you're not just stuffing it all in and just like trying, going from episode to episode.
Brandon. You have the decision here.
I do, but do I really when it's there? Like, it's hard to because you want to have the weekly stuff. Just helps things like this, where people can get together and talk about things and speculate. Sometimes for better or for worse, but I feel like that time and the water cooler conversation just allows you to like just take it in, and I think it ends up having a little bit more longevity that way, especially in the zeitgeist. There's just so much stuff competing that just there's no way like without that weekly format, like things just there's so many series out there that I'm seeing like season 5 of this guy, and I was like, I didn't even know this was a show. Like I'd never even heard of this.
I agree with you, but I think The Boys launched like 2, 3 off the bat, and then it became weekly with its releases.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. But because I was watching something else at the time, I wasn't able to get to it until it was all available to binge, and so I binged it, and now I've forgotten it. I remember the main beats, but I need to rewatch it again because that both those seasons are very strong, and I'm excited to see what they do with season 3. Nani had just mentioned the Jensen Ackles. Was it Soldier Boy? Is that his character? Or as Alan said, Soldier Boy last time.
Yeah, there we go.
Anyway, so yeah, I think we're all excited for that. Not sure when it comes out. I couldn't find anything online, so if I had to guess, either the end of this year or sometime next year. So we will see. We'll keep you posted. All right, that's all the news. That's all we got. Roll the trailers segment, Chris.
Okay,
thanks.
Quick.
Just kidding. We don't have one of those. All right, yeah, trailers. We got a few different trailers this week. One of them I'm going to have some major help from you guys on. We'll get to that in a second. One that I did enjoy, though, was that What If trailer. I don't know what you guys thought about this. I remember when they announced this and showed a little bit of footage. Right when Disney Plus launched, they had this like sizzle reel. They showed briefly the animation style of this show, and I was already hooked. And then this trailer came out last week, and man, I am out of probably anything on their slate. This is probably the one that I'm most excited for, just because I think that's one of the things that I enjoy about Loki is these like alternate timeline type things. Like I love that. I love time travel. I love like Elseworld type stuff, what if type stuff if you're in the Marvel universe. So this has really piqued my interest. What do you guys think? What did you guys think about the trailer?
You go ahead.
We'll go with Alan. Alan, you go.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm super excited with it being like it's Chadwick Boseman's last Marvel project, so I'm pretty excited about that. Just to see T'Challa as part of the Ravagers will be pretty cool. But I don't know. It's you had this when they announced it, with the little small trailer that they launched initially, and then Loki. Like that was my top 2 from the get go anyway. And it's from what I've seen of the trailers, it doesn't look like it's going to disappoint. That's for sure. I'm pretty excited.
I love that they started this trailer out with the Iron Man opening scene. Because like it comes across, they're just doing an animated like Marvel greatest hits type thing, and then it's like, oh wait, this is because then you have Killmonger saving. I assume that's Killmonger. Yeah, saving Tony. I don't know, man. Chris, what'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty excited for it. I like you. I love this animation style. Really clean. Style's awesome. I know last time I was on here that we were doing something with, I don't know if it was Falcon or one of the CAPECAST episodes I was on. I think it was right when they put that first snippet, and I was a little disappointed at the time because that was when I found out that What If was based on like MCU What If, and I was such a fan growing up of like the What If comics, and there were so many stories that I wanted to be seen brought to life. But I gotta say, my disappointment's kind of just like in the past. This looks really cool, so I'm super interested to see what they do with these stories.
Yeah, it looks like. I mean, Sharon Carter seems to be like the main character of it. At least they're putting her kind of forward and everything in the marketing. But yeah, I mean, all of it looks really cool.
And the Marvel
and yeah,
zombies.
the animations. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This is the guy, like, I wish, like, Ryan loves the DC Direct animated stuff. I just can't get behind the animation style. It just comes across cheap to me. But this animation style is like, I don't know how to describe it. It's super. It's not like traditional animation style. It's more cell shady. But
Is that why you didn't watch Invincible? You don't like the animation style?
it's part of it. I don't know. I mean, I know that the story is supposed to be really great, and I enjoyed the story for the most part. I was never an anime guy, and this like very choppy. I don't know how to explain it, but like more, stripped down animation style. It doesn't appeal to me, unfortunately. But a lot of people like it, so I know that I'm letting that get in front of me enjoying a series like Invincible. I get that, but I don't know. I just wish it was better. Wish it was something that I could latch onto a little better. But that's just me. It's my problem, okay? It's my problem to deal with. So I'm happy for all of you that enjoyed it. Okay? Leave me alone. The next thing, this is where you guys are going to come in. Because I never saw season 1 of The Witcher.
But you read the books.
I haven't read the book. I haven't played the games. I've watched someone play the game a little bit.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Hey, there you go.
But the third game. But yeah, The Witcher season 2 dropped a trailer, and I watched it. I watched the trailer. No idea what's going on. I assume the button scene at the end, is that Yennefer? Is that who that person is at the end? Did she die or something in the first season? She's back. Maybe that's supposed to be a surprise. I don't know. I know two characters.
Spoil things for you.
Geralt and Yennefer. Is it Geralt or Geralt?
You'll have to watch season 1 and find out.
Okay. Is that a reveal? How you pronounce his name?
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Now, here's the thing. I should be chomping at the bit to watch this. And
Got your boy.
it looks great. The first season looked great. I have no reason that I haven't watched this. I just haven't got around to it.
What are you doing this weekend?
Let's see, this weekend. Well, I'm watching Space Jam.
Work. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
I'm watching Space Jam with my daughter. That's about all I got on the calendar. I'm gonna probably watch Gunpowder Milkshake tomorrow night.
How about that?
Yeah. When does the new season of Witcher? Let's look and see if it has
December.
Yeah.
Is it December?
17th, maybe.
Yeah, December 17th. You are correct. Well, see, I bit off a little more than I can chew. I told Ryan and Alan, the guy that we used to podcast with, not Alan, Al. I told Ryan and Al that I would watch all of Sopranos before Many Saints of Newark dropped in September. And I did this in like January or December. And I was like, I got plenty of time. But then I got very bored with the show. And my motivation went to zero pretty much.
So you lied across 7 months? How many months?
I'm still trying. I watched another episode a few nights ago.
Okay.
I'm still trying to get through it. It's just one of those things where
I haven't seen it either.
Yeah. I don't know. Can't.
What is this Sopranos that you speak of? I've actually
Have you seen The Sopranos, Alan?
Negative.
They talk like you.
Well,
There we go.
yeah. Chickens and roasting took up most of his time. It's true. And you guys are about to understand that because you got chickens now. Maybe you already do understand it. It's a commitment. All right. All right. Well, what do you guys think about this trailer? I'm going to let you talk since you watched the first season and I didn't. So, yeah, fill me in. Does this look good to you guys? or does it look more the same, or what? How does this show, like, did you guys read the books or play the games, or
before you
like?
pass the torch,
Yeah,
you watched this trailer. Did it interest
Yeah.
you? Did you
the
think it
first
looked
season
cool?
interests me. It does
Okay.
interest me. Yeah, it looks
Okay.
great production quality. I love Henry Cavill. Obviously, I watch him anything. I got to make time. Here's the thing. I remember when it came out. I remember when the first season came out and people were watching it, and I heard a lot of people saying there was a lot of time jumping and stuff, and it got kind of confusing.
Yep.
And so I wasn't like rushing, because my plan, like anything that we watch, I'm like, all right, if I can get Melissa hooked on it, then it's easier for us if we can watch it together. That's my free time at home after Luna goes to bed. If I'm going to watch something, it's going to be with her. So I got to get her interested. She liked Game of Thrones, so I could kind of see her maybe gravitating to this, but I wasn't sure.
Has she
So
seen Blonde Cavill?
Pretty
I'm
close to naked blonde Cavill at a few
Yeah.
moments. That may it. That's pretty much it. Yeah. That's what got Mandy in it. You know,
it's an angle. It's an angle I could play. We'll see. But anyway, so I don't know. But yes, to answer your question, Chris, yes, it did look good. But again, the first season looked really good. It's just I got to make time for it. So anyway, now I'm passing the torch. Go.
Alan, you want to lead this one?
I got the last one. You got this one.
All right. Well, like Nani just said, I need to do a rewatch of this.
Yeah.
Kind of touching back on what you were saying before, I binged season 1. So I remember a lot of the beats, the main points, the characters, things that I really liked about it, but there's definitely a lot that I've forgotten for sure.
Yeah.
So honestly, the trailer looked really cool to me, and because it seems like they're not kind of doing that time jump thing, and it seems like it's just like its own contained story that's almost like that kind of like lone wolf and cub type thing of like the badass elder and the young sidekick. I feel like I could watch this even if I hadn't seen season 1 and still enjoy it. But I do want to go back, rewatch season 1, see if I can appreciate it more now that I kind of know what to expect. Because I did think there was issues with how they did the time jumps. But I really liked season 1. The world they built, I think Cavill was amazing. And I love that he is so passionate about the role. And he's like a book nerd and plays the games and everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, kind of the same thing with the Black Adam thing. When somebody's passionate about the project, that makes it cooler for me. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited for this one.
I think Nani agrees. Yeah, so I remember people saying that like the flashback stuff, it was hard to decipher when the jumping was going. Like,
and it was by design for sure.
Yeah.
But there was just a lot of intertwining things that made it probably a little more confusing than they wanted to, in my opinion.
Yeah. Gotcha. Alan, what about you?
Well, for me, we went into it not knowing a thing about the books or the games at all. Just the fact that Henry Cavill was in it. Superman's in it. Of course, I'm going to watch it. But so with the time jumping thing, that was, again, my main gripe. But only because having no backstory whatsoever, I didn't know what was back in, what was past time and what was present time. I had no idea. I was just like, oh, hell, here we go again. I didn't know where we were, but I was like, okay, I'm along for the ride,
Yeah.
And then, the song is pretty much the only thing I remember from season 1 so far. So I'll have to go back and watch it for sure.
What is that song? A quarter for a coin for your, what is it?
Toss a coin to the Witcher or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I know some things kind of.
There you go.
Anybody? Carnilla is the villain. I don't know. Is that something for the Witcher or is that Loki? Maybe Loki. It says Loki in the first one. Ooh. I don't know what Carnilla is.
I don't think I do either, to be honest.
Sounds
Fill
like
us in the comments.
Sounds like caramel and vanilla ice cream.
It's a bold theory.
Now. Pretty excited. I don't know.
A lot of theories going right now about who the villain is of Loki.
Yeah,
I'm sure Britt has a few.
It's Deadpool. It's Deadpool.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that, Alan. I don't know if you were trying to segue.
Maybe. Mainly
So-
because I had nothing left to say about The Witcher, so I was
Okay.
ready to move.
Well, so the we thought when we were watching WandaVision that we were about to have our first Fox Marvel MCU crossover with Quicksilver. Didn't really end up being the case, did it?
No,
We all know the Ralph
didn't.
Boner situation. We are all very disappointed, as was the rest of the world. But today, just randomly, we got this trailer reaction, a Free Guy, which is not related to anything Marvel, but it does share two Marvel actors, Ryan Reynolds and Taika Waititi, and they both reprised their Deadpool and Korg roles to do a trailer react video to the Free Guy trailer. And I just thought this was amazing. I thought this was great. I was very surprised to see it. I mean, I know that Fox is now under the Marvel banner, or the Disney banner, so to speak. So there are reasons, but the fact that they let them do it is it's impressive, and I'm excited because that door seems to be at least cracked open at this point. And I thought it was really funny. These are two characters that I would love to see a feature with. I just think, I don't know. I've always loved Korg. Taika. I love Kiwis in general. Just like I just think anything normal. If I were to say anything in my dumb American accent, you say it in a Kiwi accent, and it's 100 times funnier. I thought this trailer reaction video was amazing. What do you guys think? I'm gonna pick somebody. Let's see. Let's go with Alan. I know that you guys are like, oh, you go.
Yeah. We're not. I mean, I'm used to you and Ryan, running things. I just kind of squeeze in there when I get a chance. But no, I was in the passenger seat. Me and a coworker were riding down the road, and I was just flipping through, social media, and I saw this, and that's when I shared it with you guys. I was like, oh my God, this is like the greatest thing I've seen. This is one of. This is. Who would have thought that would be the first Deadpool MCU crossover for sure? But it couldn't have been more perfect for what it was, He's like, hey, Mr. Poole, sorry that you did, like right off the get-go. God, that was hilarious. It just, and I was already excited. I was already kind of excited about that movie anyway. So that definitely pushed me a little further in. But yeah.
I was there right from when they were like, Jodie Comer, and Korg was like, Foster. I thought that was great. And obviously they had the Dark World dig at the end, and the acknowledgement of the Fox sale and that kind of stuff.
Fire sale, that was cool. Pretty
great. Chris, what about you?
It was great. You guys on that group chat. I didn't really know what I was clicking on, but it's cool. It's cool to see that they would do it. Yeah. I mean, they didn't have to. There was no reason to. It's just cool that we got that.
Oh, when I sent it, I was sitting there thinking, I was like, man, everybody's going to love this. I'm going to be so cool.
You are.
You took ownership of it like you created it.
I did. I found it. I discovered it.
Nice.
God, it was awesome. I watched it again 10 minutes before I came upstairs to do this.
Yeah. Nice. Well, yeah, I mean, I am super excited about the possibility that it implies, I'm not saying that anything's going to happen with that, but they did say that they're going to do a Deadpool 3. So as far as, who knows what that looks like under the Disney banner. Seems like they are going to let them do it rated R, but it makes so much sense to let stuff like this happen because of the nature of Deadpool and breaking the fourth wall and that kind of thing. Chris, you, myself, and Ryan have a little bit of history. One of our first movies was Deadpool.
Look at us.
And this popped up in our little anniversary picks the other day.
Was that
and
one of the
I just
first
felt
movies?
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Got our little toys that they gave us.
Yep.
Mini Deadpools.
So yeah, it's that character it's near and dear. I don't know. I can't speak for you. It's near and dear to my heart because of that
Speak for me
reason.
all you want, Brennan.
Okay. But yeah, all right. Well, that's trailers. Now we're going to move into the last thing that we have on the list, which is what we've been watching. Obviously, I think all three of us have been watching Loki. And that's what we'll hit on. But have you guys watched anything else geek related besides Loki before we get into that?
No, we're gonna go see.
time.
Hopefully, gonna go see Black Widow Thursday. So
Yeah.
yeah, there she is.
Yeah. I haven't seen it yet. Anybody in the chat that's seen it, chime in, let us know what you think, what you thought. Britt, who's been on the show before, he did see it. And if you know Britt, he is a Marvel fanboy. He was not very impressed with it, which is saying a lot, unfortunately. So interested to see what everybody else thought. Obviously, review-wise, Marvel movies always get reviewed well. It must be nice coming from a DC fan, and seeing you guys with all your reviewers that give you your Rotten Tomatoes certified fresh stickers. We're very envious. So, but yeah, so maybe we'll get around. Looks like Nani saw it. She said it was okay, and then she laughed out loud at the end of that. So, yeah. Well, you can't win them all, but apparently you can if.
You think it's better than Wonder Woman 84? Better or worse?
It looks better than Wonder Woman 84. I mean, I don't know, but
Pretty low bar there. So
Yeah.
I mean, I hope it is. If it's worse than Wonder Woman 84, then geez.
we've got a Regal Cinema gift card.
At least I have heard that Red Guardian, that David Harbour is amazing. He's really good, and he was the one thing in the trailer. I was like, he looks like he's going to be fun. That's the only positive that I could pull from the trailers. I know, Alan, you were excited about Taskmaster.
Still am. I don't know who it is, not at all, but I just know that some people are disappointed.
So there's that.
So.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll see. I wasn't gonna be able to make out to a theater, like I mentioned to Alan when we considered purchasing it, but last weekend was so busy. And then I got people coming up this weekend. Space Jam's coming out, so that's going to be the movie we're watching because it's like right there for free, not $30. So we'll probably watch Black Widow down the road. But I'm just not in. I'm sorry. Anybody that's excited for it, I'm glad you're excited for it. If you enjoyed it, that's great. It's not one that I'm excited for. So, all right. So that's it. Britt may be coming on next week to talk Black Widow, and that will likely be a spoiler discussion, I think, even if I haven't seen it. So, Alan, if you haven't seen it by then,
I will not be
welcome to come on or plug your ears or, hop off, whatever you want to do. Anyway,
I just hope Britt gets choked up saying he doesn't like it.
I kind of want to be on here just for that.
Yeah.
I've never met Brett either, so I'm kind of excited to see
That'll
that.
be something. Nani was saying it was just very predictable, so wasn't that excited. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. You're doing you remove a lot of stakes when your lead character, they're going to be fine at the end of the movie because, we know the fate of this character. I don't know. It just comes across as too little, too late. Like, you should have made this movie back in real time. If it's set between Civil War, like, should have made it in that time period when those movies came out. But you waited until now because, you fell victim of people crying for a female-led Marvel movie, and you were too, chicken to do it back then, and you got beat to the punch. And so now you felt like you were obligated to do it because you had the biggest star playing this character, and now you're going to put it out after she's dead in the franchise. Just like, who cares? It's over. Move on. Sorry, I'm turning to Al. I'm turning to Al right now.
I see some reds growing on that dome.
I am untethered and my rage knows no bounds!
So yeah, that's me. That is me. But yeah, so there you go. All right, let's move on to the thing that we all have watched, and that is Loki. Season is episode 5. I don't remember the name of it, but we all watched it. And before we get into the episode, Chris, since you haven't been on the show in a while, what's been your kind of consensus on Loki as a series overall so far?
I've been digging it. I was surprised that I enjoyed the first episode when that came out as much as I did. I think I mentioned on that first episode of WandaVision, the show was so short that when the end credits rolled, I thought that was a really long opening before the opening credits. And then it ended. And I was like, oh, well, that was a short and meaningless episode. And then it turned out all of the episodes were like that. And I was very disappointed and kind of hated WandaVision. Falcon Winter Soldier was terrible. It just got worse and worse. And I really had some pretty low expectations for Loki. Wanted to watch it, wanted to like it. And first episode, right away, I was like super into it. And when it ended, I was just hoping for more. I was hoping that it was that WandaVision thing again of maybe there's something else after this. But yeah, I mean, I've dug every episode. I don't think it's a perfect show. Some like the Sylvie relationship kind of out of nowhere for me, but it's a show. It's a short season. I get it. But yeah, I'm digging it. I like the setting. I really like Hiddleston. I'm interested to see what happens every week.
Yeah.
I'm
Same.
on board.
Cool. Well, now since you've already been talking, what did you think about this episode?
Yeah, I mean, it was a cool episode. I wish that this kind of like end of time realm, I forgot what they called it. I wish it wasn't just like Loki land. I'd like to see a little bit more.
Yeah, well, I think they kind of mention that Lokis are the only ones that survive.
They're like just good survivors, yeah.
Because they're
frog.
So I mean, yeah.
But no, it was cool.
Yeah,
and that's me nitpicking. I liked the different versions of Loki we saw out of that main group that he was with. So young Loki that had killed Thor was cool to see, and I really liked kind of the classic Loki. That was a cool character, and I like kind of that point of like you're stronger than you think you are, and him really kind of flexing that Norse god magic that we've kind of been missing from Loki, because he just comes across as weak a lot of times and doesn't do a whole lot but like trick people. So it was cool to see some power on display, and he was a cool character, and I liked kind of hearing his little backstory of like a different type of Thanos run in, and it seems like maybe they kind of tied into those fan theories around the time of Endgame of Loki really just kind of had an illusion and he survived, and he was some space debris drifting around. I know that was like a big thing for a while, so seems that like they kind of listened to those fan theories and tied it in, so that was cool. But yeah, I dug the episode. I have not read Loki comics. I've read a lot of comics that he was in as kind of like somebody behind the scenes or little appearances, but I never read any like dedicated focused on him things. I never read anything on Kang, so anything that is kind of alluding to him being someone is just from me reading it online. I'm not going to pretend like I read every Marvel comic, but with me only knowing what I do know and what I've read and seen over the years, I thought the castle, like the first thing in my head was Doctor Doom. Like, oh, is this going to be how they tie it in? It seems like the Kang theory is much more likely given what the internet has compiled. But I mean, I don't really care who it is. I know there's theories of it's another Loki, it's Kang, it's Doom. Apparently, it's Carmilla, whatever we were asked
Carnilla.
to
So
Google.
I did look
Sorry,
that
I did
up.
not Google it.
I did Google it. I have it pulled up. So Carnilla
Sorry, the pro.
is The Norn Queen is a sorceress and the Queen of Nornheim, one of the Asgardian provinces. She has proved to be an enemy of Asgard, allying with Loki, though she is deeply in love with Balder the Brave. That's what it says on Google.
Interesting.
So I don't know.
Yeah. In any case, I don't really care who
Here's
the
the
villain
thing,
is.
though. If that is the case, if that is the case, it seems like it would have to be the girl that's like the court, like the judge. She's going to end up being Carnella.
Yeah, I
if
can't
that's
think
the
of her
case,
name.
because you're not going to introduce a brand new
Somebody
character. Like it's going to be a reveal.
Yeah.
It was Agatha all along.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Exactly. That's it. Cool. Alan, what'd you think of this episode?
Another solid episode. I have really enjoyed this show, with the exception of episode 3, the train episode. That one kind of drug on for me. But other than that, I mean, I really, and I know I didn't really get to hang out with you guys when you guys were talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I didn't hate it. It wasn't the best thing I'd ever seen, but there were parts of it that were really cool. And same thing with WandaVision, but Loki is leaps and bounds better than any of those could have ever been anyway. But I love the episode. Classic Loki. I couldn't, I mean, that suit, oh man, it just made me laugh every time I saw those big yellow underwear. God, it was I mean, it was spot on. You know, we actually went to our local comic book shop, and Mandy picked up a couple of, she's always been, I guess, a Hemsworth fan, but Thor fan, you know, so she picked up a couple of them, and she picked up a February 1983 Thor. And on the cover, he's driving his chariot with the goats on the front, you know, or the rams or whatever that you've seen in the set photos for Love and Thunder. And it's also got Kang on there as well on the cover. So I was like, wow, they probably pulled a lot of this, you know, from, I know they've reached kind of into the 80s for that kind of stuff, but for the Loki episode though, no, it was super cool. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the little moment there with Owen Wilson. You know, they had their hug at the end. You know, that was pretty cool. And I'm excited to see what's on the other side.
Wow.
Wow.
What'd you say, Chris?
Said Owen Wilson's been great too.
Yes.
He has been great. Yeah.
Living the dream.
I'm just gonna regurgitate everything you guys said. I really enjoyed this episode. I'm just enjoying the show. This show started off where I was like, yeah, it's solid. I'm not like, it's not appointment TV, and now it's like I'm ready for Wednesday. I'm ready for the next episode. And a lot of that is due in part to Hiddleston's portrayal of this character. I think he just nails this character, and not that this is new because he's been playing it for years now, but I feel like he's the one villain, quote unquote, in this universe they've mined the most, but is the most developed of a character in terms of the villain roster. Granted, that's because they use him the most, but still, like he's to me, he's the most interesting. And his backstory is also, he's got that tragic backstory. That those tend to make the best villains, the ones that are a little more gray than black and white. I just I thought this episode was great. I love the little void element where like everything from these alternate timelines just melds together. And they have what's the beast thing called? Was it Alioth? Alioth.
Yeah.
That was a really cool, like, way. I don't know what if that's a real character from any of the comics, but as far as a way to like convey that visually, it was really cool. I mean, again, Owen Wilson, great. I loved all the variations of Loki, especially Richard E. Grant. You talked about his like super classic underwear on the outside type costume. He's great, man. I love that guy. He pops up here and there, and everything he's in, he's like just just great.
Him playing that role so straight really made it too. Like looking as ridiculous as he did and just playing it very straight.
Yeah, he's perfect. But no, I mean, there's one episode left, I'm interested to see how this ties up. I don't know if they shot this to where it's going to be open-ended to where there could be a season 2, or if they are just, saying this is more of a miniseries, and it's going to lead into another project of Marvel as far as something.
I would hope that it just kind of leads into the main MCU and not set up for a recurring series thing. 'Cause then it's more impactful. It's bigger. I
do too.
It does that.
I mean, we had the same expectations for WandaVision, and that ended up not being the case. Exactly. I mean, kind of, but not really. So hopefully they deliver on that.
That's why I want it to be Kang. That's why it needs to be him. That's the villain to tie that in and to keep it going. I
don't know anything about Kang, so tell me what Kang is about.
Alan, you want to take it?
Go ahead, Chris.
Are you dumbfounded when I asked that question?
Caught me off guard. Wasn't expecting that one.
He's just a time traveling conqueror. Like he just goes everywhere of all times and just.
Kang, is that so? Is that who Christian Bale is playing in the Thor: Love and Thunder?
No, it's the guy from Lovecraft. I can't think of his name, but he's actually Kang is going to be supposedly he's going to be in Ant-Man, Quantumanium or whatever it is.
Did either of you guys see some of the theories that Kang was kind of set up initially in Homecoming?
No.
With the Avengers Tower being purchased and Happy moving everything out.
Oh yeah,
but
and there was a little there was a nod to that in the
with the Kang Tower. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did see that. I didn't. That's what I was when I saw it. I was like, I need to Google that and see what that is because, that's interesting. Well, I did look it up. Christian Bale's playing Gore. Yeah, Gore the God Butcher. So not Kang. You're right. Anyway, well, yeah. Hopefully, next week we'll have Britt on and he can drop all his Marvel knowledge on us and tell us how we were wrong in our theories or wrong to expect things that didn't happen. And
hey, he told us a lot of things in WandaVision. Let's not forget those.
It's true, but here's the thing: he'll be on the other side of the season finale, so he can say whatever he wants to.
Yeah, that's fair.
So he doesn't have to.
He can say he knew it all along.
Let's just get him doing WandaVision first. I just want to see that, or not WandaVision, Black Widow.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that'll be interesting. It's going to be. Bring your tissues. Bring your tissues. Could get emotional for Britt. Yeah, that was the last Journey into Mystery, I think was the title of that episode, and we all enjoyed it.
Hey, is classic Loki dead, or is he hiding in a rock somewhere?
You tell me.
I hope he's hiding.
Yeah,
he's great.
Think he's hiding?
He was an illusion all along.
Yeah. I hope he's still around.
He was still in the bowling alley.
I hope the alligator is okay too. So that's what I hope. I want to see him do something. Yeah. He's slithering around.
Besides a handoff, spotting off President Loki's hand. There you go.
Yeah, that's true. Did do that. That was funny. That was great. That was a great little moment.
Yeah, it was.
That's what would have been funny and cool with the frog. They were able to do that. But oh well. All right. Well, that's it for what we've been watching. Before we go, I did want to bring up some so basically a short little slate of what's coming down the road. So mentioned we were talking about Snake Eyes earlier as far as the tickets going on sale. That movie is dropping on July 23rd, and that's theaters only. Then you got Suicide Squad, August 6th. That's going to be a dual HBO Max and theatrical release. And then Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is going to be September 3rd. So
issue 1 of Shang-Chi.
Do you?
I do.
Yeah. What's the
first
value of
appearance
it?
of that? I got New Mutants 98, which is Deadpool's first appearance. I got somebody else's. Years and years ago, I decided I'm going to buy a bunch of obscure Marvel character first appearance comics in case they ever get movies and get big. I've hit 2 at least.
Payoff. Wow.
That's the most Chris thing that there is. Do you sit on website domains as well, Chris?
No. Not in a while.
Okay. Not in a while. Okay. Yeah.
Sometime.
All right. Yeah. See,
I tried to buy baconstrips.com a few years ago. I was like, somebody won't bacon strips. But because the word Brips is in it, it's a premium because travel things are so big and it was super expensive. So I never got baconstrips.com.
Bacon strips. What is isn't there a dog?
I think it's
Baggage strips. Okay.
Bagging.
Dogs don't know it's not bacon. Okay. Well, anyway, so yeah, this is the upcoming slate. Obviously, for the rest of the year after Shang-Chi, you've also got Venom in September, and you've got Eternals in November, Spider-Man No Way Home in December. We're still waiting on that trailer, so hopefully
we'll have one by then. By then we'll have one.
Surely. But yeah. Out of these 3, what's your most anticipated? Chris.
I'm gonna go Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi? Alan?
I would have to give the edge to Shang-Chi as well. I want to see the Suicide Squad, and I hope it's amazing. I hope it blows my mind. But
I want to see Abomination.
Yeah, me too. Me too. When I saw him in the trailer, I was pretty pumped about that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm gonna say Suicide Squad. Even though I have my qualms with James Gunn's humor, I do think out of these 3, Suicide Squad, just from a directing standpoint, visually, tonally, I have some issues with some of the humor again, but like I think it looks like it's going to be pretty good. I'm excited for it, even despite my little reservations that I have. So
rated R.
Yeah. I mean, it's what they wanted the first Suicide Squad to turn into. They tried their best to turn it into, retrofit it into that mold.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't created as such. But so hopefully one that's actually like made to look this way. Hopefully that'll work out better. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly.
I heard he was shredded.
He was shredded. So good. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us, gentlemen's. Before you go, as a reminder, find us on Twitter at CAPECAST Show. Find everything about us on the interwebs at CiNEMACHiNEPod.com. Click subscribe here on YouTube. Hit the notification bell so you know what we're doing. Hit us up on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon at CiNEMACHiNEPod. We would very much appreciate it. And once again, guys, I appreciate y'all coming on. Ryan, he hasn't been. I don't know what's going on with that guy. He just can't rely on him. So he's got Hawks games. He's traveling all of a sudden, going to see his sister, fishing. I don't know what he does. But maybe he'll be back next week. Time will tell. But Nani, thank you for joining in and commenting per usual. Thanks to everybody else that commented.
Better than Ryan.
We appreciate you guys being supportive, showing up. That's something that we can't say for Ryan. So I mean, that is appreciated. So anyway,
maybe we start some giveaways.
Start some
before you go to
giveaways?
next time. Listen, I got a
We
box
can get- we
of old
start-
comics. We can give random comics away.
We can just give away
For the
some
people
of
who are
Ryan's
better than
collectibles.
Ryan, I think they earn something.
We should give away Ryan's Dark Side figure, the Weta
Oh, wow.
Dark Side figure.
I don't
do
even
that.
have any. I don't have anywhere in my house where that would even fit. So I don't like. Do I even want to win that thing? I'm just like,
Yeah. Well, you can make place.
I think I could.
So
Yeah.
Ryan's got
I
two.
could-
Ryan made.
I've got 2
he
kids.
had to do it.
I don't need both of them.
No.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point. You just get them bunk beds. Be fine.
Next week, if Ryan's not back, I'll turn my hat around. I'll go with the backwards hat. There we go.
There you go. Good deal. All right, man. Once again, thanks for coming. Appreciate you. And we will see you next time on CAPECAST. Thanks.